thinking she was buying a working stove, which would provide heat. And she's suing the sneak here and now for the $1,140 she paid. This is the defendant, Ann Rosa. She says the stove worked fine when she sold it. The woman fired it up and tested it before she bought it. And now that it's broken, it's her fault? She thinks not. Mechanical things break from time to time. They can be repaired, and the plaintiff needs to make the repairs because the stove is now hers. End of story. She's accused of being a cold person.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Go order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay. You've asked to be referred to only as Kate?
Yes, thanks.
Kate is suing Ann Rosa for $1,140 for a pellet stove that you bought from her, which, according to you, does not work. So it's the price you paid, which is $800, plus money that you've put into it. Tell me what happened.
I saw an ad on Craigslist, so I put out calls and emails to those people, and they were all kind of
This is for a pellet stove?
For a pellet stove.
All right, for the uninitiated from Miami, Florida, tell me what a pellet stove is.
A pellet stove is pretty exciting because it's something that you can put wood pellets, a pre-shaped kind of thing in there, and the stove takes it from there. You set it on a temperature, and your heat comes from that, and it's an inexpensive way.
What's it look? You have a picture of it?
Yes, I do. That is the lovely stove.
And what do? You plug it into the wall?
You plug it in. It does take electricity, so you hope your electricity...
Do you have to have a vent?
Yes. It has to be vented out through a chimney.
How big is it? Show me with your hands. Oh, pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
So you were excited about this because a new pellet stove costs what?
Oh, they can cost $2,000 to $4,000 on up.
And so it was for sale for $800?
Yes.
Do you have the actual ad?
I don't.
Okay. Let me say again, until I'm blue in the face, to everyone who ever buys anything on eBay or on Craigslist or anywhere else, if you want to be able to tell me it's not as promised, you got to be able to show me what was promised. And what happens?
I had called a lot of cheap ones, and I didn't know which stove Ann had. And it was actually my top choice, which was the $800 one, which was more expensive, but I really liked the brand.
Did you see it working?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It came in. She had the AC on. It was in September. She tried to do the thermometer or the thermostat. It didn't work. But the reset button worked. It turned it on, and it was loading the pellets. Everything was beautiful. And I looked at it. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never bought a pellet stove. So I looked at it, and I kind of saw things and asked her about it. And she said, well, look it up. It's this brand, which is a Santa Fe. I had seen a panel that had said it was a Contour, but she said, no, they're the same thing. Just look it up. And so that was fine, and it worked. And so I gave her $400 and $400 over the month of September. Then we arranged some way for me to get it. So she nicely offered that her son could help me. And he was really nice. $50, deliver the stove for his gas money. And then I said, well, I'll need installation. And so we talked about that and pipes, and I'll pay him for the pipes, the extra pipes that go for the stove.
So how much did you pay the son to bring it to you and install it?
I probably paid him about $230, but again, I don't have a receipt.
How much did you pay your son for that?
I don't know.
No idea. Okay.
Okay.
All right, and then what happens?
And then, so he installed it. It worked the first time, and it shut off. Once the temperature was, well, the first time it didn't. It just went, and so I contacted a lot of people, and they said, well, maybe the thermostat went, and Ann said the same. And so I bought a $15 thermostat, thought, okay, fine. And the same thing happened, where it started up, and it would burn, and then it would reach a temperature, and then stop, and that was about the last time it worked.
Wait, the same thing happened, that it would burn up, reach temperature, and stop. That's what it's supposed to do, right?
Yes, but it's supposed to actually go back on again, which if you look at a thermostat, would turn it back on when it gets cold.
It would not go back on when it got cold.
No, it wouldn't do that.
Okay.
So that's why we thought, well, it's maybe a thermometer or a thermostat or something like that.
So then you put in a new thermostat, and what happened?
That didn't address it. So I said, okay, I got to get repairmen. And at that point, it was dead in the water.
Okay. And what was that point? That was how long after you had it delivered?
A couple weeks.
So did it work for the couple of weeks?
Only twice. I didn't need it. It was a warm time. Yeah.
All right, so what did it need in order to make it working?
The repairman that she set me up with had said it was a control box, a wire harness.
And what else?
It's about $800, including labor. What I did discover, though, when I did look and I saw, oh, it's a Contour, and that was a discontinued stove, I began to think, okay, this is older than I thought it was. And
how old did you think it was?
Turns out to be pretty old, yeah.
Don't you think you should have asked? Like,
I do think
what
I
year
should
is
have
this?
asked.
And it doesn't say the year on the item? Did the ad ever say what year it was?
No.
And she never misled you and said it was a different year. The issue had never come up.
I don't think she was misleading me. I think the big, as I would say, smoking gun in this situation is that she had said she bought everything, replaced everything in the stove.
Did she say the phrase everything, or did she say control box?
Yeah, and I have emails about that. Did
she say, let me see the emails that you have. Did she give you the proof of the replacements that she had said she had made?
I don't have a copy, but I think she does that says she got a control box.
So then why does she have to return your money? What did she do wrong? I thought you were going to tell me that she claimed to have replaced the control box and that wasn't true.
Well, she did exchange the control box.
She's got a stovetop, and now she wants the seller to stuff it. The testimony continues.
Were you arrested for something?
I was arrested by mistake. The case has been closed. The charges were withdrawn, and it really has nothing to do with this.
Okay, I'm just going to ask you about it because there's an aura now that you would like to erase if in fact the case. Okay, so I want to give you an opportunity to do that. Go ahead. What were the charges?
Plaintiff bought a very old pellet stove, sort of antique, and says it was a mess. Lots of stuff was wrong. Let's listen.
Can I ask you a question? What day did you take possession of the stove?
You know, it could be...
What day did she take possession of the stove?
Could you, late October, November,
It sounds like you bought a used item, and then it worked, and then when it stopped working, you're not happy about the used item because it's going to cost you a bunch of money to get fixed. What did she do wrong?
One aspect, that is one aspect, but it worked twice.
When I bought it as a rebuilt stove. I used it for 2 years, not 4 years. And while I had it, I replaced or repaired anything that broke down while I had it. And one of those things is the control panel that she's talking about. She says that it's dated 2003. That's a manufacture date. That's not an installation date. It's an older model stove, so
but it's not. But you don't think it's that old?
I think it's 6 to 8 years old. That's how it was sold to me.
But when you say everything has been replaced, you mean by the prior owner, not by you?
in total.
Okay. Did you ever replace a control box?
Yes. I have a receipt for it right here.
Okay, can I see that?
Yes.
Okay, so you sell it to her and you think your business is over, and when do you hear from her?
It was a few weeks before she contacted me the first time.
This is an email from the people who fixed it.
Yeah.
Saying to you, I guess because you asked them.
I asked them to show me everything that they put in the stove.
They said we replaced the thermocouple, we replaced the feed motor, we cleaned the stove, and we replaced the control board. And what evidence do you have that the control board is not working?
That the wrong one was put in.
Yeah, but how could that be? Because she used it a bunch after that, and you used it several times after that, and it was working when you went to look at it.
I used it 2 times, and it may have been one of those. It died when I got it. You know, it's one of those unlucky moments.
Okay, that's a $200 part. So
it's a $400 part.
Oh, well, you got to call the right people.
She bought the wrong one.
Oh, okay. What is it that she did wrong that would require her to return your money plus a bunch of money on top of that? The money you paid for the thermostat, the money you paid her son to transport it. I mean, you've got to be able to show me that she committed some kind of fraud.
I know. I guess I don't want to bring up things, but I felt that it only worked twice and then died, and it was rigged. And it started with the reset button, not any other way that it's supposed to start. And so.
But you knew that when you bought it. You're coming in here and saying, I want $1,140.
Yeah.
How? Did she lie to you in any way? Is there anything she said that was a fraud to you because it was a lie?
I think it's a problem in that I don't know if she really intended. I think she
has to have intended.
Yeah, I think it was not intention. The thing that confused me was I found something out that I'm going to give him instead of say out loud.
Well, there's no give the bailiff something for me to see secretly. Okay. We're in open court.
But it was something that that I found on the internet that made me question whether I had been ripped off, because I had been told that everything was replaced and it's going to work and it's great. and then it worked 2 times, and then it didn't at all.
So what did you find on the internet that caused you concern?
It was a legal case that there had
Involving the defendant?
Yes, and that she had just been arrested.
Were you arrested for something?
I was arrested by mistake. The case has been closed. The charges were withdrawn. And it really has nothing to do with this.
Okay, I'm just going to ask you about it because there's an aura now that you would like to erase if in fact it is. Okay, so I want to give you an opportunity to do that. Go ahead. What were the charges? You put up a warrant for your arrest?
Yeah. I was charged with 3 felonies. I don't even know what they are.
Okay.
So,
wait, so what did they do? Did they put handcuffs on you?
Yeah.
And then they took you where?
Is it a crapshoot? You know what, to be honest with you, eBay gives you like guarantees and stuff like that, so if I can get my money back, why not?
Okay, fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
3 years ago, the New York State Labor Department claims that they overpaid me and that I owed them.
Did they overpay you for what?
For unemployment. They didn't agree with my interpretation of their rules. Okay, they called me up and I said, no problem. If that's the way you see it, we'll start a payment arrangement. And that's fine. So I waited, they sent me a bill, and I wrote out my first check and sent it. They cashed it. And one day, some state troopers show up at my house and arrest me. So here I'm thinking I'm paying back this money, and some overzealous guy in Albany decides he's going to send the troopers after me.
He put a warrant out? Or
Huh?
He put a warrant for your arrest?
Yeah. I was charged with 3 felonies. I don't even know what they are.
Okay.
So,
wait, so what did they do? Did they put handcuffs on you?
yeah.
And then they took you where?
To the state trooper barracks.
And then they gave you access to the computer so you could show the canceled check?
Yeah.
So how did it resolve itself?
I had to go to court.
But they didn't take you into the pokey. They let you out.
I never spent any time in jail.
Okay, so you have a felony warrant. You have to be taken to jail. So how did they
They
arrange?
released me on my own recognizance.
But that's usually a judge call. So did somebody?
Yeah.
Somebody called the judge and said.
Before a judge, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It was very embarrassing, and you know listen to this.
And then the newspaper prints it, or it's on the internet.
Usually when they print those things in a newspaper, it's like a blotter entry. So and so, so and so, so and so. No, they thought I was so special. I got my own article.
Not only do you get your own article, but they put some generic handcuffs hands on the front of your article. Oh my gosh. And then what? Did you continue to pay?
Of course.
Right. Oh my God.
Well, actually, my beneficiary, a very lovely man.
What's your beneficiary? What's that mean?
Gave me $8,000
Your sugar
to pay
daddy?
it right away.
What's a beneficiary?
He's my boyfriend.
Your boyfriend?
Yes.
My beneficiary. Seems to me you're the beneficiary. Well, who knows? Okay, look, this is exactly like a used car sale. And, you know, you're right. When you buy a used car and you bring it home and it doesn't work, the law is that once you buy it, it's yours. When you buy a used item, it is an as-is item. So you best make sure before you buy it that the thing is what you want it to be. And in all actuality, this thing may be what you want it to be, because it sounds like they're so expensive that putting a little money into it will save you a bunch of money in post, but that's not my problem. That is your problem. And it's certainly not her problem unless you can show there's a lie, something that she said to you, misrepresentation. But we know that the control box issue was not a misrepresentation. Somebody actually paid somebody to fix it. As far as this case is concerned, my verdict in this case is for the defendant, and I wish you luck, and I hope you can get it going. All right.
Thank you.
Bye, folks.
All right, so it's interesting that it's just like a car. It's an as-is sale when you buy something like that, unless you can prove some sort of misrepresentation. So what have you learned in this case here?
I didn't know. I didn't know the law, and it seemed reasonable to me.
Something to remember is
Something to remember.
is always save the ad. That's for everybody.
Absolutely.
When you buy off of Craigslist, eBay, anything like that.
Yeah.
That would help.
It was just a big loss, but you know.
All right. So what do you
whatever.
do now with the thing, with the
I
monstrosity?
mean, it's really, the guys are saying, just dump it, just dump it. It's really old, you know, but
You
I
wanna
don't know.
You're gonna
It's
fix
a kind winner to this year, so I'm okay.
All right. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Right down this way. Okay. So she's happy that it's not cold out. All right. Come on over here and what's your feeling about getting hauled into court again? You're always getting hauled into court. What's with you?
I'm in the wrong place at the right time. Yeah, it's no big deal. I'm glad that it went the way it went. But if it hadn't, you know, when you do these things, it's the luck of the draw.
Were you glad when you sold that thing? Did you say, "Oh, thank goodness I got rid of that"?
No,
thing?
to be honest with you, I was offered a 1-year-old pellet stove from the guy across the street who has a back problem, can't pick up the pellets.
This is the plaintiff, Eric Langleben. He says the defendant T-boned him while he was driving. His car spun 180 degrees, and he's quite frankly lucky to be alive. When he got out of the car, he collapsed to the ground. He was transported to the hospital and had severe neck pain from the crash. Not once did the defendants check on him, even when he was lying on the side of the road surrounded by dog feces, which is an outrage. He's suing for $3,472.80, the amount he's owed. These are the defendants, Ehab Musa and Muna Bosta. Ehab says the plaintiff ran a red light and he crashed into his wife, Muna. That's right. The accident was 100% the plaintiff's fault. Besides, insurance covered the plaintiff's damages. He has no idea why he or his wife are being sued today and owes the man nothing because this accident was caused by the plaintiff. They're accused of making direct contact. The defendants have filed a countersuit for $1,463.84 for damages to their car.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
They got in touch with the witness, who I could not get in touch with, and neither could my insurance company.
So go on.
And I said, no, I'm not liable.
Okay, you know in the police report, the person originally said that you might have run a yellow light.
It might have changed in the middle.
People's Court next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendants T-boned him, and he ended up going to the hospital in an ambulance, and the defendants just don't care. But the defendants say the plaintiff ran a red light. It's the case of, I have a nice T-bone for you.
Thank you, Douglas. Eric Langleben, you are suing Ehab Musa and Muna Bosta for $3,472.80, the remaining value of your Honda Accord that you demand to be paid for because you say an accident that occurred between you folks was her fault. And you have a counterclaim against him for the value of the estimate for the damages to your car, which have not been paid. All right, tell me what's going on.
On December 7th at approximately 2:15 in the afternoon.
Let's do something. Is this the intersection?
Yes.
Okay, come on over here. Don't talk until you get there. It's good.
I was waiting at the light approximately back here. There were cars in front of me.
Okay.
The defendant was coming from this direction. The light changed green. The cars in front of me proceeded. I made it 3/4 this whole entire lane going northbound. I crossed. I got to about right here where she hit me behind my right wheel, spun my car around 360. She parked here, and I ended up here.
And according to you, you had the green light.
Yes, and according to the police report, I did.
No, according to the police report, you said you had
yellow.
the green light.
Yeah.
And a witness said you might have had a yellow.
But I don't know how he could have
And then
seen
a witness said, did that witness change your testimony later and say
The
it was
witness changed his testimony.
and said that you had a red?
Right.
So go ahead and go back. So what happens after that?
I tried to get out of the car once I parked in that spot, and I collapsed to the ground. And the car traveling behind the defendant, they stopped and got out and ran to me. I collapsed on the ground because I was knocked out of breath. They picked me up, they put me on the grass, and they told me to not move and relax and stay calm. I kept trying to want to get up to see the damage to the car. And they said...
What kind of car is this?
A 2001 Honda Accord EX V6. I have pictures of it.
Yeah, let me see them.
Sure. The top pictures of the collision and the last two of the condition it was in before.
What's this a picture of?
That's my blown side airbag because I was hit from the side.
So did you end up in a hospital?
Yes, I was taken away on a backboard and a cervical collar in an ambulance to Staten Island Hospital North.
Okay, how long did you spend in the hospital?
A couple hours.
Okay, and then they released you?
Yes.
Okay, did you have any injuries?
Yes, I have
kind of
injuries. I have cervical injuries. I have MRI reports and physical
Do you have a
therapy.
lawyer?
I have a lawyer for a separate case.
On this, though?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you contact their insurance company, correct? And what does the insurance company tell you?
They were bargaining with me. They initially offered me 10% and held me 90% liable for the accident.
And why did they say you were 90% liable?
Because I went through a red light. They got in touch with the witness, who I could not get in touch with, and neither could my insurance company.
So go on.
And I said, no, I'm not liable.
Okay, you know in the police report, the person originally said that you might have run a yellow light.
It might have changed in the middle.
Of you?
Of the intersection.
So you end up negotiating with their insurance company for your car.
Right.
But you're suing today for your car.
Because I didn't get paid in full to fix it.
Right, but you accepted a check from them for your car.
Yes.
Okay, now they valued your car at what?
For almost $4,800.
Okay, you know Kelly Blue Book values your car vastly lower than that. They actually valued your car really high, which is good for you.
Okay.
And then what they did was they negotiated with you the percentage, correct?
Yes.
Of liability. So in the end, what percentage of liability did they ascribe to you?
60%.
This is kind of an all or nothing. I don't get it. I mean, I get negotiations. Negotiations are give and take. But it's kind of an all or nothing. Somebody's at fault and somebody's not at fault. Can I ask you to please come to the podium, Ms. Basta, and tell me how this happened? Are you in the lane?
You're straight.
Yes, you're going straight. And are you in that lane or are you in this lane?
No, in this lane.
Okay.
Oh.
And then what happens? Well, that's where you put it in the first place. So I don't know why you're getting indignant, but go ahead.
I'm stopped in the red light.
Okay.
When the turning green, I just pushed the little case here. He drove faster. He hit me in my bumper, and my car license plate stuck in his car, and he ran like this. After that, I pull over his hair, go out from my car. I'm looking because I have two children in my car.
Okay.
2 years and 4 years. After that, the witness who's called the police came to me.
And he says, "Are you okay? Are your children okay?"
And he still talking with the police. Give the police the name please. And I asked him, "You saw what happened?" He told me, "Yeah, the guy got a red light."
Say it again. That the guy had a red light.
Red light.
Okay. Why do you suppose the police wrote that he may have had a yellow?
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, but we do know, because you learned it from the insurance company, and that the guy said, no, he had a red light, that the witness says that you had a red light.
From their insurance company, that's what I learned.
Uh-huh. Okay, go ahead and go back. Do you have a picture of the damage to you weren't there?
I came in after 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you get there, do you talk to the police or anybody else?
By the time I get there, the plaintiff already left, and I talked to the police officer, asked him what happened, because my wife called me, and luckily, I had to switch from different company to another company for the insurance company just 7 days before. I have a proof of that.
Why is that lucky? New company's better?
No. When I switched from the other company, the police officer, he took the old insurance company. By the time I came, I gave him all the information. So I was shocked how the plaintiff know my new insurance company. While when I talked to the police officer, they told me you have to wait till the police report, 2 days after.
Okay, well, I don't know, but
yeah.
you did.
But anyway, based on the damage that happened to the both vehicles, that's indicated, and here's the picture.
Okay. Where's the damage to your car?
It's in the middle, according to the police report. Which
right
is,
here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's it? This wasn't very high impact.
Yeah, it's not.
How did your car get, wow. It happens.
And if
your
you look,
car was...
Because she's moving.
What difference does that make? Your car's moving, her car's moving, her car has virtually no damage, your car is a total loss?
Yeah.
Did they total loss it?
Yes, I have the
It's not really a total loss, you could fix it, right? In fact,
It's
you
salvage.
agreed with them that you wanted your car back.
Yes,
So you
they
kind of bought back your car and took a little less.
Yes.
So you've had all these negotiations with the insurance company. And you do understand that they are acting on his behalf, right?
Sure.
So you basically settle a case with him and then you sue him in court. You don't see something wrong with that?
Plaintiff got T-boned. Now he's staking out his claim for almost $3,500. Milian rules next.
Inside the courtroom.
You can't settle something and go, okay, it's settled. We're all done. It's all settled. We're all done. Thank you for the check. Go to the bank, cash it, and then file a lawsuit the next day for the rest of what you didn't negotiate.
I couldn't get any more.
That's right. And that's what we call that. You couldn't get any more. Period.
Okay.
You're frustrated because according to you in your complaint, you say, it really frustrates me how the insurance company had all the marbles and they're calling all the shots. They're not. All you have to do is reject the money.
I see.
And then go to court and sue for the whole thing. But you wanted the money. But you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't take the money, take the settlement, and then go to court and sue. And now, where are we? Now we're in a position where they're counterclaiming against you. So I have to figure out who's actually at fault, and it's not looking good for you. Now, you contact his insurance company.
Yes.
And what does his insurance company tell you?
By the time, I opened the claim with them, I was waiting for them just to call me.
When you say them, who are you referring to?
To his insurance company, right.
Did they take your statement? Well, not your statement. Did they take her statement?
They did not.
They never even asked you a question?
No.
But what did they do? They denied your claim.
Yeah, they denied it. I sent the police report. Even the last time I talked to them, they told me, this police report is not signed by the officer. I said, how come? And I sent them another one.
But why did they say they were denying the claim?
Because they said the plaintiff said that my wife was making a left.
Making a left?
Yeah. Yes, that's what I've been told.
Can I see where they say that?
They didn't say, in phone.
Do you have it?
No, but I have a letter claiming that I was zero negligence in the accident.
Yeah, they don't want to pay.
Yeah.
Come on, give me that.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
Did he have comprehensive in collision? Was nearly a brand new vehicle.
What difference would that make?
Why is he getting paid twice? He's going to have...
Wait. Did your own insurance company pay to fix your car?
No, I have a high deductible.
So you chose not to go that way. He chose instead to file a lawsuit against you, which is his right.
I see.
He can do that. If I have insurance and you and I collide, your defense can't be, she's got insurance, let her figure it out with her insurance company. No, there may be reasons why I don't want to go through my insurance company. I have a high deductible. I don't want my rates to go up, whatever it is. So I can either leave you alone and go through my insurance company because it's not worth the trouble, or it's worth the trouble because you're suing me, and then I get to counterclaim against you, and then I say, hey, this wasn't my fault. Was there, I don't know that I asked you this question. Were there cars in this lane?
No.
No. Were there other cars in front of him?
No.
Oh.
No.
No.
Oh, you also don't say that there were other cars in front of him.
I had a clear shot across the intersection.
You did say? Okay, on your lawsuit against them for $3,472.80, you cannot sue them for further damage to a car on a case that you have already settled against them, which is what you do when you settle with an insurance company. All right, so I find 0 on that. And on your counterclaim against them for $1,463.84, the damages to your car. May I see the estimate for the damages?
Yeah, I have to estimate from the dealer.
And you are testifying that you did not get paid by his insurance company. We know.
I did not.
Nor by your insurance company.
Yeah, I
correct?
have the denial letter from his insurance
right,
company.
that we know. And then that your insurance company didn't pay for it either.
No.
Correct? Okay. And based on what you are showing me and what I have heard here, I believe that the accident was your fault, and I'm ruling in her favor, $1,463.84. Verdict for the defendants. Good luck, folks.
Oh, well.
Works out pretty well for the defendant, but unfortunately you're the plaintiff. So what's your feeling here?
The judge rules. The judge rules.
That's it.
There's nothing you can do.
No, there's nothing you
She's
can
got
do.
the
Right?
final say.
Well, you did try to collect after you took the settlement from the insurance company.
I didn't know you could
realized
do that.
Did you jump through that light maybe, and you're calming down a little bit on the road? Do you need to change any of your driving practices?
No.
You don't? You would do the same thing next time, same way?
100%.
And you're just saying that she just took off and hit you for no reason?
I feel that if I was in the middle of the intersection and caught there, she had to yield to me. But I think I lost on the fact that I already collected.
Yes, okay. Around this way, yes. All right, step on in here and, all right, so you must be pretty happy about this.
Yeah, I am actually. It's been 2 months going back and forth in anxiety, but thank God, what's really common sense is the truth,
Yeah.
And I really appreciate Judge Milian for her help, so.
Just because the light turns green, it doesn't mean you can just go. You still have to look just in case. Did you, should you have taken another look? No, I mean.
Yes.
Just when I see green, I go.
See green, you go, even if there's a truck coming.
I give 20% liability on my
All right, okay. You understand what I'm saying, right? Harvey?
Okay, I'm going to give you the best tip I can about car accidents. Take pictures, take photographs before you actually move the cars. You want to get them in the position they're in at the time of the crash. So important. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Ehab Joseph Shanuda. He says he rented a room from the defendant, and needless to say, things did not work out. The defendant treated him like a stupid teenager instead of the intelligent 50-year-old man he is. He ended up moving out, is a law-abiding citizen, and is exercising his right to get the defendant to return his security deposit of $640.
Bathroom, so the guests and herself was using the same bathroom I was using. Still, I was...
Next case in the docket, the plaintiff rented a room from the defendant, says the defendant treated him like a moron and kept his security. But the defendant says the plaintiff was disrespectful, walking around in his underwear. It's the case of please don't be brief.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Ehab Joseph Shanuda, you are suing Vanessa Lemus for $640. 3 times your security deposit and $40 in interest for a few months, because according to you, she wrongfully withheld it. All right, tell me what happened here.
Okay, without going into anything but the legal...
Well, you got to go into the whole thing. That's why we have a case. You rented from her.
Yes.
When did you start living there?
July 1st, 2014.
And what happened?
When I moved out, I gave her a 30 days notice.
Is there any question about the notice, or you agree that you got the appropriate notice?
I did.
Okay, go ahead.
Then, as per the
And
law...
when were you moving out? How long after July? How long did you live there, I guess, is what I'm asking.
I moved out March 31st, 2015.
Oh, so you lived there a while. And was it peaceful while you lived there, or did you folks not get along?
Well, it was, peaceful. There was no major issues, but, there was sometimes like picking on the small things, like your cooking stink the house, etc., etc. Kitchen, whatever, actually.
Kitchen, whatever what?
Like,
what were your complaints about him?
It was the cleaning.
Well, meaning what?
Clean up after yourself, after the cooking.
Well, what would he do? He wouldn't do the dishes? Is that what you mean?
The stove, the countertop, the dishes. He would leave them for a while in the sink.
What's a while?
Hours. So we would leave a note to say, can you please clean up after yourself?
How often did that happen?
Every time.
Okay. So you leave him a note every time? You didn't just say, hey, clean up after yourself,
No, we would tell him.
Okay.
Sometimes notes, a text, I wouldn't
And when
see
you
him.
would tell him, would he go do it?
No.
Okay. Did he ever leave him overnight?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But
All
he
right.
would cook like 1 in the morning.
Okay.
So sometimes.
Okay. All right. So would you wake up to the dishes to the place all wrecked, or kitchen all dirty, or no?
Maybe the stove, the countertop, but the dishes were done.
Okay. All right. So it turns out you don't have the same style, and you decide you want to leave. And what's the problem? Why didn't you return his security deposit?
It was the cleaning fees for the bedroom, for the restroom.
Why did you keep cleaning fees for the bedroom and the restroom?
When we gave him the room, it was furnished, it was cleaned, it had blankets, pillows, all that stuff. We charge him for it.
What do you mean you charge? You mean you
yeah,
charge him when you kept the
yes.
security deposit? The security deposit was how much money?
$200.
Okay. Do you own the place, or are you subletting to him?
My mother owns the place,
Okay,
the house.
Did you ever send him a letter saying, I'm keeping this and this is why I'm keeping it?
We did, yes.
May I see the letter?
I don't have the letter with me because this was I never thought I was going to get sued by him.
Okay,
So,
watch
yeah.
this. Did she ever send you a letter saying what are you going to do now? Because
I know,
the law
yeah.
requires you to send a letter, and you're supposed to send it certified mail or personally hand it to him, which is kind of archaic. A lot of other states let you prove that you notified him in writing, and
Yes.
you can actually use an email or a text or something like that. But your state requires you to actually go the old way, and you don't have it? That's
Yeah, we don't.
bad for you, because that means you didn't send it in the eyes of the law. That's not how it works. We don't get to just, woohoo, like this, I feel good today, I'm generous with other people's money. That's how some judges rule, but that's not how this judge rules. It's what the law says.
So can the tenant walk around in his underwear?
Yeah, why not? Unless it's specified in a lease that indecent exposure is defined as what?
You buying that?
Yeah, I agree. If it's on the contract, why not?
Okay, everybody get in your underwear, going inside the courtroom.
So now let's discuss. You're saying that you're keeping it for a cleaning fee. Do you have pictures of the way he left the bathroom?
I do not have the pictures.
Honey, what do you think you're going to do here? What do you think this is?
I know. I only have the pictures of the way the bathroom looks now.
No, that's not going to do me any good. I need to see, because for all I know, that's how he left it. I need to see your reasoning for not returning the man's $200. By the way, the penalty for you when you don't return the man's $200 is that it's doubled. Where'd you get that it was tripled?
In this state, in state of California, it's double. Where did you get that it was tripled?
Well, I read there was some judges award 3 times.
No.
Okay.
You got an award. And that's not how it works. We don't get to just, woohoo! It says, I feel good today. I'm generous with other people's money. Well, maybe that's how some judges rule, but that's not how this judge rules. It's what the law says. And there are some states that say treble, I mean, not in a landlord-tenant case, but in fraud and other types of cases, triple damages. But what your remedy is, if someone wrongfully withholds in bad faith, is for you to be able to get double the damages. So really, the remaining issue for me to decide is this bad faith? Do you have any evidence at all that the place was dirty? Did you pay somebody to clean it, or you cleaned it yourself?
We cleaned it ourselves.
So you're definitely out of gas on the security deposit. What I need to see is if I'm going to order you to pay double the security deposit. Would she give you some grief about the dishes while you lived there and about cleanliness?
Yes.
What would she say to you?
Kind of demeaning notes like, you know, the house is stinking of your food, and in a matter of fact, her mom was doing the cleaning for her even, and there was 2 only bathrooms in the house, one in her mom's bathroom, so the guests and herself was using the same bathroom I was using.
Okay.
Still, I was required to clean it once a week, which I did.
Okay, would they complain about your cleanliness level when you did clean it? Maybe you shouldn't live with 2 women you don't know. That's
Next
just kind
time.
of, not 1 but 2 that you don't know. All right, I don't think this cuts it for bad faith, especially when you're telling me how they did complain all the time, unreasonably, but, you know, talk about the cleanliness factor. You're definitely getting your $200 back, plus prejudgment statutory interest on it from the day that you left, for 21 days after that you left, and, of course, your court costs. But for me to find that there's bad faith as opposed to that they're just wrong, I have to find like they're like, you know, kind of doing something to hurt you kind of thing. And I just don't think that's present here. I think they lack evidence. I think that there is no evidence against you that it rose to the level of having to pay cleaning fees. Anything, she readily admits they didn't pay cleaning fees. They just had to clean up after you and they don't like it. And that's not how the law works. You don't get to keep security deposits based on that. In fact, I urge you, if you're renting out rooms, you ought to know what the landlord-tenant laws are and how much time you have to do stuff. Look it up. There's no excuse for your generation. Back in my day, I had to go to the library and figure it out. You just go on your telephone that's attached to your hand anyway, and then you find out how many days you have and what you have to do to comply with the laws. So I'm ruling in your favor in the $200 deposit, plus your court costs, plus prejudgment statutory interest. Okay? Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
All right, guys, hold on right there, please.
Okay, so step on out here on the losing end of this case. You learned something about the law here?
I did, yes. I should read up on the law and 30 days notice.
21
actually for giving him the deposit back.
Okay. It's on the internet. It's everywhere.
Of course.
So these charges, he says he wasn't dirty. He wasn't all these other things. Are you just making that stuff up to get your money?
No, of course not. You know, there's 2 ladies in the house. You have to clean up.
What did he do that was so egregious?
The restroom was gross, you know.
Ladies don't like that.
Of course not. We don't.
Guys like that.
Yeah.
Okay, head right down this way. All right, so come on out here. Here's the guy who was accused of being dirty and walking around. What are you thinking now?
Well, I feel good because it's not about the $200. It's about the principle. I don't like to be taken advantage of. I am law-abiding citizens. In 20 years, I don't have even a speeding ticket. So when somebody step on me, I take them to court.
Being with the landlord.